Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Created by Chaos. Now, before I begin, there are two things I want to talk about. I am sorry there hasn't been a video for a while. That is because I've been moving into a warehouse, and the warehouse has a shop front. So I am doing both shop front and warehouse, shop front, warehouse, and things are going a little bit slower than what I'd like. The second thing is you may have a bit of an echo in here, because I am in a warehouse. So I was going to do a video on some painting and so forth, but I've been seeing something online over the last couple of months, and it's starting to really tick me off. I keep seeing video after video after video on, is 3D printing better than Games Workshop? Is it more cost effective? Blah, 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 blah. And a lot of these people don't actually go into any in-depth about it. They just sort of casually talk, oh, well, when the technology gets here, blah, blah, blah. And they don't really say anything of substantial. So I'd like to put my 2 cents into the ring. So I've been 3D printing for about 9-10 years now. And I got into resin printing the last year and a half. And I resin print on a frozen transform, which is a really big printer. Now, the resin I use is 4K Ultra, so I get really high detail. Now, that said, is Games Workshop items better than 3D printing? And the answer is kind of, and I'll explain. Big stuff from 3D printing is stunning. I mean stunning. I mean, here we have this beautiful T-Rex. It's like a statuette. Absolutely wonderful. Beautiful detail. You can see like down here, the ridges and such. That's a bust. That's absolutely, you can see the teeth, it's phenomenal. And that stands, what are we at? It stands at 13 centimeters. All right. Another bust, I think it's from the same company, Arc Villain Games, I think it's called. This is a demon. Once again, I've got some little support there I gotta take off. Naughty me. Beautiful, great detail, absolutely amazing. And I have to sand the back. That's very naughty of me. That said, even medium-sized stuff, here we go. Let's look at something big. Here we have a dinosaur. Once again, this is absolutely amazing, 3D printed, beautiful, stunning, amazing. It's gorgeous. You can see the little scales and so forth here. It's absolutely amazing. We've got, this is once again Arch Villain, whom I absolutely love. Right? Beautiful. You can see the feathers. Absolutely amazing. Stunning work. Absolutely stunning. All right. Last but not least, I want to show you this. This is something that I've been working on. I like this a little bit. This is a 3D printed Cthulhu coming out of the wall. Or maybe a door or a mirror, I'm not too sure. And it's proper 3D. Beautiful. All right, so big stuff 3D printing can do, hands down. Medium size, we have bases like this. This is a very large base. Once again, you can see the stunning detail, the scales, the chopped off bit there. It looks stunning. All right. Where's the other one? Here's a little, it's a smaller bird head, like a griffin head, I guess. It's been hacked off and such. Once again, stunning. Now, we start to get into smaller stuff. So here we have a Games Workshop. This is the Unmade. As you can tell, this is beautiful. It's a little bit flexible, but we have tiny little plastic spikes that have come out perfectly fine. Amazing detailed chains, the faces and such, little spikes on the end here. Amazing. So around that size, we have a 3D printed little imp. And he's not bad. You can see his smiling little face, his teeth. you know, not flexible at all though. He is solid. And people say that they're fragile and brittle. They are a little bit. I mean, if I threw this around, sooner or later, these wings are going to snap off. I'll tell you one thing, if I threw this around a bit, it'll start to snap as well. Treat your models well, regardless. So this is around the same size as my unmade. Now that unmade is quite big, don't get me wrong. This is a demon. He's turned out all right. You can see his muscles and so forth. But I think that's where it stops. When you start to get into smaller models, Games Workshop starts to be winning the pace. I mean, here we have a little like devil dog type thing. I think Games Workshop could print this far better than I ever could. And I think that's the problem. Smaller miniatures, Games Workshop, hands down, they are still lords of creation. Now, I've been playing GW games from about the 80s, but simpler small items, like here we have a tiny little, get in focus, come on. Anyway, we have a tiny little, come on, there we go, tiny little lady. Now that's 25 mil. That's not too bad. I think it's supposed to have broken wings. It's off a, excuse me, off a tombstone. So it's going to like sit on top of the tombstone all broken. So it's supposed to look like that. A little flower in a hand and so forth. That in respect, simple, small stuff. Printers can do bigger stuff. Games Workshop are gods. The taller and bigger items get, then 3D printing starts to take over. Here we have a frog on a throne. Beautiful detail. Once again, he'll have like a spell being weaved across there and such. Beautiful design. Oh, a little bit of gunk on there, I'm going to get off. And lovely. You know, it's beautiful, amazing, lovely, phenomenal. Now, the big question, price. I have a Frozen Transform. It's about $3,500. That said, I could print 40, 50, maybe even 60 of these all at once. Not a problem. And if you hollow it out, which I didn't do with this because I wanted a big heavy one, but if you hollow it out, you put holes in the bottom, so it's still, rock solid, pardon the pun, but you save yourself a bit of money. And also the fact is, you know, you want a resin to last as long as you can, so you try to make it go wherever you can. No one needs to see, you know, the bottom of it and know that it's heavy and such. It still feels heavy, can still hold a model on it, everyone's happy. Bottle of resin, I use the 4K Ultra, gives great detail. It's about $40 Australian for a litre. Now, out of that, I could print, I don't know, 100, 150 of these, maybe. More if I hollowed it out. The bigger the item, of course, it uses more resin. But once you start to learn tricks and trades, you can make it stretch a bit further. So most printers in Australia will cost you around about $500. Excuse me. And I'd say bottle of resin, $50-ish, give or take. Some places will have it cheaper, some places have it more expensive, and it also depends on what brand you use. So, is it worth it? Yes. Long term, yes, 3D printing is worth it. As long as you're not doing lots of little fiddly models. If you're doing like dinosaurs, dragons, demons, and, you know, bases and so forth, you can make whatever you want. And that's a beautiful thing. You can say, well, I want to take the wings off that monster, pop it on a centipede body, give it a torso of a centaur, and put a demon's head on the top. And away you go. Printing is also very addictive. I love printing. I love making stuff. It's just so much fun. But miniature-wise, I think Games Workshop is still Lord and Saviour and Creator. They still hold the ability to make stunning small models. And they do. I saw some of their recent orcs. The recent orcs look absolutely phenomenal. Excuse me, having a small drink there to clear my throat. Games Workshop, I think, have the market at the moment. I think you'll find in 2, 3, 5 years, printers are going to get so good and such a great quality that this will be the normal with printing. Am I saying go out and buying a printer and saying bugger off Games Workshop? Hell no. I still buy regularly from Games Workshop. I support the products. I love them. And also the fact is, I can go to a Games Workshop event and use this. I can't use this at all, which is another point about buying models. If you've got homebrew games now, I run a Mordenheim game, a Necromunda game, D&D, Warhammer Fantasy, role-play and so forth. So a lot of these miniatures I've printed do get used quite often and regularly. And that's just me. Some people want to use the traditional stuff, and that's perfectly fine. Price is the key for me. In Australia, we pay a lot more. Well, Australia and New Zealand, we pay a lot more than the rest of the world. A lot more. In some respects, I remember that I used to be able to buy from America and have it FedEx to Australia in Perth, and it was still cheaper than buying locally. Now, that is still the case in a lot of respects, but now I'm a bit more select. I only buy things I'm really, really into, like there's a new, what do you call it? I bought the Cursed City when it came out. I was very lucky to get a copy of that. Kill Team, the new Kill Team coming out and so forth. That sort of stuff I'll buy because that's supporting not only Games Workshop, but I get some cool miniatures and some nice terrain, which I can use, Necromunda and so forth. So, if you want to get a 3D printer, please do. But understand the fact you're not going to be printing this just yet. All right? Give it another couple of years. Now, I think there's a new 8K printer that's just come out. I haven't seen any of the models printed for it yet, but 8K might just get there. I don't think so, but it might. Time will tell. If you like my video, please click a like and subscribe. I will be doing a video shortly, hopefully on this, which is like a wagon type thing for my Mordenheim game. I love this, man. It's got steam tank, a little bit of a wagon, steampunk going on the back. And I'll do a video on that and how I'm painting it up and so forth. All right, so everyone stay tuned for fun, hilarity, and painting. This is Chaos signing off. Have a great day and goodbye.